Today, we are going to discuss about work design and measurement. Work design means that how you will design the work system. That means it includes method study. Method study means that how the jobs will be done or the design of the work and measurement. What is the performance of the employees? How long does it take to finish a job? Now, how we'll design the system and how we'll measure the employee performance or job performance. We'll discuss these two issues in this chapter. So first, job design. You have some idea from your human resource management course. There are several job design systems. The operations managers are also follow the same system, job design system. Job enlargement. Sometimes they increase the volume of jobs. It is also known as horizontal loading. That means you are doing some job, some more tasks will be added to your existing job. This is known as the job enlargement. And in relation to job enlistment giving the challenging jobs to the high performing people. Usually, if your performance is better, they choose you to give you more challenging jobs. That is known as the job enrichment. So both are important. Sometimes you need to merge two positions together. This will create a new position. Say for an example, the job enlargement and job enrichment giving you challenging job. Say for an example, you are working in Bangladesh. Maybe they are transferring you to a third country. It is known as job enrichment. And usually job enrichment is given to the employees to promote him to the next level or giving him the opportunity to grow in the career, increasing responsibility for planning and coordination. Planning and coordination means your challenges are increasing, and it is also known as vertical loading. And job enlargement is horizontal loading, maybe job restructuring. Marketing officer and commercial officer are working together. Now the company has decided that decided that two positions will be merged together and one employee will be there, another will fire from the company. So when the responsibilities and tasks of the fired employee are added with the existing employee, this is known as job enlargement or horizontal loading. Job rotation is another way of job design. Job rotation, you know that is transferring from one job to another job. Workers critically exchange jobs. And self-directed teams in today's world, the most important restructuring in the job is self-directed teams. Groups empowered to make certain changes in their work processes. Maybe operations manager empowered one group in the floor who are self-responsible, self-directed. This team usually can make decisions without consulting with anybody else. This is known as the self-directed teams. And ergonomics, you know that how your sitting position will be beneficial for more productivity. It is ergonomics, incorporation of human factors in the design of the workplace. Your chair. Is your chair fit to deliver, to listen to lectures? How comfortable you are with the chair? Say for example, in garments manufacturing, in apparel section, that means shirt, pant manufacturing section, they have the opportunity to sit in a chair. But those who are working in, sweater manufacturing, winter dress, the position, their job position is always standing. So whether standing is better, whether sitting is better, whether the comfortable chair is better or wooden chair is better, this will be designed by the company, and it is known as the ergonomics. Ergonomics. These are the today's most important features of new job design. Operations manager must concern about the job design, whether they will enlarge the job, whether they will rotate employees from one department to another department, whether the operations manager will enrich the job or develop a self-directed team, or they will design the work system following the human factors. Ergonomics is also known as human factor engineering. These are the issues of job design. Say for an example here, there are some issues given. This is a case of Johnsonville sausage. Design is workplace to facilitate employee involvement in all aspects of the business. So what are the features of the new workplace designed by the Johnsonville? Number one, Johnsonville hires members as opposed to employees. So maybe we are thinking that we are starting a job as an employee, but what they say that members. This is another strategic issues. Supervisors are referred to as the coaches or team leaders, not the production supervisor or something. They refer to as the coaches. You are the coach or you are a team leader. Work units organize teams rather than departments. In many organizations today, so they do not create separate departments, rather they create team, marketing team, human resource team. What is the difference with the department? Difference is that they work together in high performance work system. If you can remember the definition of high performance work system. In high performance work system, although you have marketing degree, maybe you are making decision on finance. Maybe you have some special characteristics. So you can make financial decisions even if you are a marketing major student or employee. So in high performance work system, you have the option to do more than your limit. Marketing is your limit. Now you are making decision about the production. And if you can remember that if you fail to work in a team, it means that you have a disease, and it is known as the management disease. So in today's world, other than departments, organization use team. The same approach applied by the Johnsonville sources. And from the time of hire, all members are required to learn about the entire business. In today's world, what usually you do? If you are appointed for production department, we send you to the production department. But the company has started a culture that you have to know about the total business. During the first 6 months of employment, all members are required to attend a series of 4-hour workshops and introduce them to company history, culture, teamwork, diversity, financial management, including how the work of teams affect cash flow and profits. So the most important issue is that now you can have the access to the cash flow even. So if you are a member of the company, you have to know everything, as opposed to employees. Employees only know their jobs, but as a member of the team, even you know the profits, cash flows, that means most sensitive information is also shared with the employees, because they're not the employees, they're the members. This is new job design system. We are talking about the job redesign. Production teams hold daily meetings prior to the beginning of their shift to discuss issues of concern. And I was working in a Japanese company, the same principle they follow. Before starting any work, they meet together and they share their challenges or concern. And if you share your concern in advance, what happens? When the problems are coming, you could easily realize, and you can handle the problem perfectly. That's why before starting any job, you have to sit in a team. The organization's culture of empowerment gives members the authority to shut down the production line at any time if they observe something that doesn't appear to be correct. It is all about self-directed teams. Self-directed teams. The organization's culture of empowerment gives members the authority to shut down the production line at any time if they observe something that doesn't appear to be correct. So they have also self-directed teams and member involvement in all aspects. John Billy's business is reinforced with the monthly business data tied to the month's production goals and profitability. Finally, the new job design system solve the company's profitability. So ultimate goal for any type of business is increasing profit. Profitability has increased by redesigning the system. So as the operations manager, you have to redesign the system to improve the productivity and profitability of the company. Another tool of job redesign is ergonomics. Ergonomics is the study of people at work to reduce their physical stress and resulting injuries associated with working, such as overuse injury, poor posture, and more serious musculoskeletal disorders. Ergonomics aims to reduce such injuries by designing workspaces, tools, and tasks and equipment that help maintain the physical health of the workers. So when people are working in a company, in operations department, maybe his sitting position, standing position, his movement, his table, his chair, everything should be comfortable with the job and the people who are involved. It is also known as the human factor engineering. Example of ergonomics. Maybe where is ergonomics? Example. Somehow there is a problem in the. Can I try with another slide? Because there is an example. Sorry, maybe the slide is deleted somehow. So the example, what would be the sitting position of a people who are working with computer was given there. So are you going with me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
what is ergonomics?
Yes, sir.
What is ergonomics? Yes, this
So
one.
it's a human factor.
Human factor engineering, also known as human factor engineering. So for example, the example is given here. Work system, components of a comfortable workstation. Sit back angle. What would be the sit back angle is given here. What will be the distance between the document holder and your eye position? What would be the better monitor angle? Monitor height from your floor. Table height. What would be the table height? Keyboard height. Seat height. That means which one will be the comfortable, where you will put your mouse, arms and wrist angle. So these are the factors you have to take care. You have to take care when you are designing your job. It is known as the ergonomics, and ergonomics are handled by the operations or production department. There is a separate wing to deal with the ergonomics in every company, and it is known as the industrial engineering wing. So there is a separate industrial engineering wing. They usually design the system, which human position will be healthy, which human position for the job will be comfortable, which human position will improve productivity of the employee, and also they check the productivity. We will also know how to calculate the productivity of the employee student. So this is how ergonomics works. And then there are several job redesign tools. Number one is method study, number two is motion study, and number three is time study. These are the system. Maybe in your principles of management or fundamentals of management, you know something about the method study. Method study, because maybe you have heard the name Elton Mayo. They're the contributors of the job redesigning tools. Method study means that how you are doing the job. You will study the method. Is there any way or rooms for improvement in doing your job? Then you will do your job. It is known as the method study. Motion study, this is almost like ergonomics. Motion study means that your movement. Is your movement comfortable for more productivity, or is your movement should limit to improve the productivity? Say for an example, you are a production officer and you have to take the inputs from another place. So the company will check the motion study whether it is better to receive the inputs from the other section. It is better to wait here and the other mechanical device will come or will supply the inputs in his station. The motion study is also one of the studies the industrial engineers do. This type of job redesigning tools are done by the industrial engineering wing. Usually you are thinking that job redesign, so for example, job enlargement, job enrichment, job rotation, these are the jobs of the human resource management department of a company. This is also true. These are the jobs, primary jobs of the human resource department, but human resource department cannot do any job without the help of the others. When they design the jobs of the operations department, they deal with the operations manager, whether job redesigning is important or not, whether job specialization, job enrichment or job enlargement or job rotation is important for the department or not. That's why operations manager must know about the job redesigning tools. Method study objective is to develop advanced job description. Method study, often called method analysis or methods engineering, is the systematic recording and critical examination of the existing and proposed ways of doing work in order to develop and apply easier and more effective methods and to reduce cost. Method study, that means how the jobs will be done. It is used to improve processes and procedures. Plant layout, design of plant and equipment to reduce human effort and fatigue, use of materials, machines, and manpower to develop better physical and working environments, which overall direct to improve productivity. Ultimate objective is to increase the productivity. The way you are doing, you can produce 20 units. If you revise the way of doing the same job, maybe the output will increase with the same amount of input. That means it will increase the productivity. You are right this moment, you are producing 20 units. Maybe after redesigning the system, after method study, you can produce 25 units. So input is same, you. And your productivity has improved. It was 20 divided by your input, maybe your salary was 18. So 20 divided by 18. Now your input is same 18, output is 25. 25 divided by 18. So method study is done to improve the productivity. Improve the productivity of a company. Motion study system is of the human motions. So whether you will receive the inputs from another place or the input will come to your end. Systematic study of human motions used to perform an operations and important even for productivity improvement. The purpose is productivity improvement. To eliminate unnecessary motions, to identify the best sequence of motions for maximum efficiency. So we are dealing with the job redesign. The job redesign can be done by job enlargement, can be done by job enlistment, can be done by job rotation, self-directed teams, or work-life balance. That is also another issue. And the job redesigning tools are, number one is method study, number two is motion study, and number three is time study. Time study, this will be used to measure your performance. Time study. Stopwatch time study. Usually we use stopwatch. How long does it take to finish a product? It is known as the time study. How long does it take to produce a product? So when you will redesign, you will think that how to reduce the amount of time to produce a product. If you can reduce the time to produce a product, what will happen? Your number of outputs will increase. You can sell more profitability, the company will be profitable one, or increase the profitability. So time study means how long does it take to produce a output is time study. So when you will check the time, you will use stopwatch. That's why sometimes we say stopwatch time study. Stopwatch time study means that you are using stopwatch to measure the time to finish a output. Development of a time standard based on observations of one worker taken over a number of times. So, say for example, in garments production, there are 3 production jobs. Number 1 is cutting, number 2 is sewing, and number 3 is finishing. So you are going to study time, or you are going to time study. For time study, what you will do, how long does it take for a product to cutting time, say for example, you're going to. Number of observations, time standard, how long, what is the standard time for cutting? Based on observations, so how many times you will observe? You cannot say that it takes 5 minutes by observing once. You have to observe several times. First time you will find that it takes 4 minutes. Second time you find that it takes 4.5 minutes. Third time you find that it takes 5 minutes. Next time you find that it takes 4 minutes. Next time you find that it takes 3.5 minutes. Next time you find that it takes 5 minutes. So these are the observations. How many times you will check to conclude the standard time? What is the standard time? You can find out the standard time by taking several number of cycles. And some of the number of cycles, say for example, first time it takes 1 minute. Second time it takes 2 minutes. Third time it takes 1 minute. So 3 times. So sum 1 plus 1 plus 2. 4 divided by 3. 1.25, 1.33. So this is the average time. 1.33 minutes is the average time to finish a job. So I think this sentence is clear. Development of a time standard. What is the standard time to produce or to finish a product? Based on observations. So first time, second time, third time of one worker. One worker, why you take one worker? Because it will help you to know the standard. One worker taken over a number of cycles. So first cycle, second cycle, third cycle. Number of cycles and number of observations is same. How many times you will count, and then you will calculate the average. It is known as the stopwatch time study. And how you can do a time study, you have to first define the task to be studied. So whether you are going to study time for cutting, sewing, or finishing, you have to set. And then determine the number of cycles. Then how many times you will observe. So for example, you have chosen cutting. So how many times you will observe? We will know the standard number of cycles. Then time the job and rate the worker's performance. So when you are for one worker, so you will rate whether his standard, substandard, 90% standard, 50% standard, or 100% standard, or above average. That means 120% performer. Rate the worker's performance. Maybe you're thinking that how will rate the worker performance? I can rate every student, and someone will get A, someone will get B, someone will get C. Similarly, operations manager or the production officer in the floor knows the workers' performance, and based on the performance, they rate the employees. 90% performer, 95% performer, 120% performer. 120% means above average. He is extraordinary. And then calculate the standard time, or it is also known as standard minute value. You can use both the term. You will compute the standard time or standard minute value. These are the steps of time study. So it is also known as work measurement. Time study is also known as work measurement. So can anybody tell me what we are discussing at this moment? Renoma, are you here? It's better to switch on your.
So we discussed about the job redesign tools.
Yes. Renoma, are you here? The principle is that you will switch on your video. Otherwise, I cannot recognize whether you are listening to me or I am only lecturing. Can you please switch on your video? Renoma, Talha Yusuf, Mehnaz Akhtar.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
So can you switch on? Are you listening or sleeping? First,
Sir, listen.
listening, so not sleeping. So that's why everybody please switch on your video. I need to check whether you're listening to me or not. Talha Yusuf. Mr. Talha. Everybody switch on your video. Otherwise, lecturing is difficult. Mr. Yusuf. Mr. Abid Anwar. what we are dealing with at this moment. What's the name of the chapter? What's the name of the chapter, Mr. Abid Anwar?
Sir, it is chapter 7.
Chapter 7, this is true. And what's the name of the chapter? Name of the chapter? Miladun. Turn on your mic.
Yes, sir.
So, what's the name of the chapter?
Chapter name was Arithmetic.
Ergonomics.
The work design and measurement.
Work design and measurement.
Work design and measurement. So, work design. First, we discuss about the work design. Work design includes job enlargement, job enlistment, self-directed team, job rotation, ergonomics. There is also work design. This is how you can redesign a work. Redesigning by ergonomics, improved ergonomics, redesigning by job enlargement, redesign by job enrichment, redesign by job rotation. These are the job redesign. And then this next section is work measurement. And there are several redesign tools. What are the redesign tools? Salsabil Noor. What are the job redesign tools?
Sir, I have to think for a while. I did understand them while you were teaching them, but acronym I have to classify them.
So redesign tools includes time study, number one. Number two is method study. Number three is motion study. Isn't it? Method study and motion study we done. Method study means what? Method study means that you are trying to improve the method. That means how the jobs are done. The how you are dealing with how in method study. How to improve the job, how to improve the way of doing the job. How to improve the way of doing job is known as the method study. And then the motion study. What is motion study? Motion study means your motion, human motion. The people who will work with the job, his movement. Movement means whether it is better to standing or whether it is better to walking. You're receiving inputs from another place. It is better to go there and receive the input, or inputs will come to you. They will check it. And ergonomics. Ergonomics means that you will design the job and the human factor only, human factor. Your standing is better, sitting is better, your hand movement, where you will put your hand. That means we have shown the how you will work with a workstation. That means with a computer, where will be your documents folder, and how long or distance will be it from the floor, etc. And it helps to improve the health of the employees and also improve the productivity. Now we are dealing with the work measurement, and to measure the work, the system is that you will use time study. How to do a time study? To do a time study, there are several steps. Samiha, what are the steps of time study? What are the steps?
Sir, we need to take the average of the times completed.
So number one is you need to identify the task. Say for an example, in garments manufacturing, there are three tasks. One is cutting, another is sewing, another is finishing. So you will choose which task you will study. Maybe cutting. So that means when you are choosing the task, what you are going to do, you are going to know how long does it take to finish cutting by an employee or by one worker? How long does it take to finish cutting? So time study, that means how long does it take? Time study means how long does it take to finish a job or a part of a job. Then determine the number of cycles. Determine the number of cycle means how many times you will check. So to know the cutting time, maybe first time you will check, it is 4 minutes. Second time you will check, it is 5 minutes. Third time you will check 4 minutes. Fourth time you will check, it is 5 minutes. So 4 times you have observed. So you will determine how many number of cycle to observe or number of observations. This is also known as number of observations. Then you will time the job and then rate the worker's performance. So every worker has their performance rating. Performance rating. This performance rating will helpful to determine the standard time. Standard time. Compute the standard time. So now come to the here number of observations. You have decided that you are gonna study cutting. How long does it take for cutting? Now, second time, how many times you will observe? So you don't know how many times. There is a statistical process. There is a statistical process to calculate how many times ultimately you will observe the job. Observe the job. Here, how many times? Second step, number of cycles. We are going to check how many times you will check the time. How many times you will check the time or how many observations you will take. Here, N means number of cycles. How many times you will check cutting? First time, second time, third time. So how many times? To know the number of observations, or in other words, this is also known as number of samples. How many samples you will take? How many observations you will take? How many cycles you will observe? Same thing. Same thing. So here, the formula to know how many times you will study a job. Z is divided by AX bar whole square. This formula is used when desired accuracy is percentage. You are expecting that 90%, you're sure that 90%, you're confident, 90% confident, or
Can you repeat?
accuracy is 90%. When you will use this formula, when the desired accuracy is in percentage, you are thinking about percentage, you are sure that 90% perfectly will be done job. And we can know what is the number of observations you will take. Anything do you want to know? Sorry.
Can you repeat? Actually, I can't hear you properly because of your net is not working well.
So repeat means here N means how many times you will observe an employee. Say for an example, you have chosen a job, you are going to check what is the standard cutting time in garments manufacturing, cutting, sewing, and finishing. What is the cutting time you are going to know? So to know the standard time, so how many times you will observe? So for example, first time you will observe, it takes 5 minutes. Second time you observe, it takes 3 minutes. Third time you observe, it takes 6 minutes. Fourth time you observe, it takes 5 minutes. So these are the observations. So how many times you will check? It is known as N. And N we use Z, you know, in normal distribution, G means 1.65, 1.962, 2.33. These are the value of Z or Z value. and this depends on the desired accuracy desired accuracy in percentage, desired accuracy, and Z the number of normal standard deviations needed for desired confidence. So if you are confident for 90%, the Z value will be 1.65. If your confidence level is 95%, Z value is 1.96. If your confidence level is 95.5%, Z value will be 2. So the value of Z depends on your confidence. What is your level of confidence, or also known as opposite is known as level of significance. Level of significance 5% means level of confidence 95%. 100 minus 5%. Level of confidence 90% means level of significance is 10%. 100 minus 90% equals 10%. So standard S is the standard sample standard deviation. What is S? So before knowing the number of observations, what you will do, you will calculate average X bar, and also you'll calculate the standard deviation, and you know how to calculate X bar and standard deviation. X bar is the average. So first time it takes 2 minutes, second time it takes 3 minutes, third time it takes 2 minutes. So total is 2 plus 3 plus 2, 7 divided by 3 is the X bar. Is the X bar. Are you getting? Are you with me? X bar.
Yes, sir.
And standard deviation, what is the standard deviation? Xi minus X bar, isn't it?
Yes,
To calculate the standard deviation, is it whole square divided by n, isn't it? Or n minus 1, all are same. This is the formula for standard deviation calculation. So first time 2 minutes, second time 2 minutes, third time 3 minutes, fourth time more 3 minutes. Total 3 plus 3 plus 2, 6, 8 plus 10, total 10. So 10, X bar is 10 divided by 4. 10 divided by 4 means 2.5, is it? Then you will calculate the deviations, standard deviations. Xi minus X bar using this formula. So you are getting the idea of the standard deviation, you are getting the idea of the X bar, isn't it? X bar and standard deviation is clear. Now
yes, sir.
you can know ultimately how many observations you should take. So n equals zs divided by ax bar, and a is known as the desired accuracy percentage, or a means desired error. The example will make you more clear. Are you getting what is number of observations?
Yes, sir.
So if you can identify what is the number of observations, you can now calculate what is happening. Mouse is not working. A lot of problems are there. Where is my mouse? So n means how many observations you will take, and statistically will calculate n here. So, and here we say that n equals z is divided by x bar, when the accuracy is percentage, 10%, your error is 10%. If the percentage is given, you will apply this formula. If it is alternate formula, means that when the accuracy is not in percentage, it is an amount. Say for an example, accuracy is 5, not 5%, 5. In that case, the accuracy will use here E, 5, and Z will be same. Z value depends on your confidence level, that how much you are confident you are getting the real number, and S is the standard error of the data you have primarily collected for making a decision. Use this formula when the accuracy is in time or in amount instead of percentage. If it is percentage 10%, then you will use the previous formula. If it is not percentage, amount or time, then we will use this formula. In our previous case, it was AX bar, isn't it? Now it is not AX bar, it is E. Maximum acceptable amount of time error. E means accepted amount of time error. Example. This example may make it more clear. A time study analyst wants to estimate the time required to perform a certain job. A preliminary study yielded a mean of. So they have taken several samples, and the average is 6.4 minutes, and the standard deviation is 2.1 minutes. The desired confidence is 95%. So you are confident 95%. The Z value for 95% is 1.96. If you can remember here, 95% is 1.96. How many observations will he needed if the desired maximum error? Here 10%. When it is percentage, your formula will be this one. Z is divided by X bar. And when it is not in percentage, say for example, desired error is 0.1 minute, that means 0.5 minute. That means it is amount, and it is percentage form. When you have the percentage form, then the formula will be this one, and when the desired error is in amount, then it will be Z is divided by E, epsilon. So can you calculate what is the number of samples you have to take for this? You have chosen a job and you have taken few samples, and this average of the samples you have taken is 6.4, and the standard deviation is 2. If you want to have 10% error, maximum error is 10% of the sample mean, then how many observations you have to take?
So what is the Z value of 95%?
95% Z value is 1.96. 1.96. So what is the value of N? Everybody, are you getting what we are calculating at this moment? Milador,
Yes, sir.
what we are calculating? We are calculating for a time study how many observations. কতবার আপনি তার কাছে দাঁড়িয়ে থেকে জানবেন যে প্রথমবার কত মিনিট লাগলো, সেকেন্ড টাইম কত মিনিট, থার্ড টাইম কত মিনিট। এই যে কতবার তার কাছ থেকে ডেটা নেবেন, তাকে কতবার কাজটা করাবেন, that is known as the N, number of observations. How many times the worker or the person who is under study will do the job or repeat the job. It is repetition of the same job to know the standard time. And why standard time is important? Standard time is important to calculate the cost of production. Standard time is important to know the capacity of the factory. Standard time is important to know the employee performance. So applications, we are coming to applications later, but now what we are doing, how many times we'll repeat the job by the same worker. So how many times? When you are expecting the desired accuracy, desired error. Desired error is if the desired maximum error is 10%. So your desired error, you have to think 10%. Then how many times the worker will repeat the job? What will be the number of observations? Same thing. Here, the formula is ZS divided by AX bar whole square. So Z means for Z depends on the confidence level, your confidence level. Your confidence level is 95%. So if your 95% confidence level, the value of Z is 1.96. 95%, here 95% value of Z is 1.96. 1.96. So 1.96 is multiplied by the standard deviation, standard error. It is given here. The standard error is 2.1 minutes. Standard error is 2.1 minutes. And this 0.10. 0.10 is the 10% error, maximum error you are expecting. Maximum error is 10%. This 10% of the sample mean. 10% is given here, 0.10. And it is the X bar. X bar is also given here, 6.4 minutes. Yielded a mean of 6. Maybe you are thinking that you have already studied the time and you know the average time and you know the standard deviation, where you are going to calculate in. Yes, to know the actual amount of repetitions, you have to take a few samples. First, you will take few samples and you will calculate the average time and the standard deviation. And then finally, you will do your job. After knowing how many rounds, how many observations or how many repetitions. Here, if you are expecting 10% error, then you have to repeat the job for 42 times. That means 42 times you will repeat the job. If it is cutting, the same worker will cut the same materials 42 times. To know the standard time. What is the standard time to produce a product? And E, if the desired error is 0.5 minutes, then Z 1.96 is 2.1 divided by not X but divided by E, that means 0.5 minutes. If your desired accuracy, desired error, you are expecting 0.5, then you have to repeat the jobs for 68 times. Repeat the same job to know the standard time is 68 observations. Are you with me? How many observations you have to take? And when the value of n is non-integer, round up. That means 67.77 will be rounded up to 68. 68. All right. So can you try it? Do it now. Let's check this online. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is the number of observations you need to have an accuracy of? A maximum error is 6%. When it is in percentage form, then use the ZS divided by AX bar whole square. So what is the number of observations you have to take? What is the answer of A? What is the answer? Sadia, are you here?
Yes, sir.
So, Samiha, what's the answer? Can you solve?
Sir, করতেছি, sir.
Okay.
Sir, do we take 1.96 here as well as the Z value?
Z value 95.5 means 2. 95.5 means 2. All right. Here 95.5. This information will be given for you. 95.5 means 2. Time study analysis wants to estimate the number of observations that will be needed to achieve a specific maximum error. With a confidence of 95.5%, our preliminary study yielded. This
Sir,
is
0.49.
0.49. Number of observations, it must be many. N. How many times you will observe? So it cannot be less than 1. Are you getting? আপনি কতবার ওই এমপ্লয়িকে অবজার্ভ করবেন? Maximum error.
So we round it up to 1. So the number of times is 1.
Maybe not. So what is Z? Z value is 2. Is it? Is it 2 multiplied by is standard error? Here standard error is
1.1.
1.2 multiplied by 1.1. All right. Divided by
Yes, sir.
6%. 0.06. 6% means 0.06. Maybe you made mistake here.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, it's 49.7.
14. That means you need to observe the employee for 50 times. All right.
50 times, yes.
So when you are expecting 6% maximum error, and when you are expecting that the maximum error will be 0.40 minutes, so
30 times.
30 times. So if you are thinking that 6%, then you have to observe for 50 times. And when you are thinking for 0.40 minute, then 40 times. Is it? So are you with me? Hey, Mr. Shahid. How many
Yes, sir.
observations? What is N here? What is N here? N? Number of observations. So today we have finished one part of our 2 lectures on work design and measurement. So if we sum up today's lecture, work measurement means how much time will it take to do a job, and this is one of the job redesign tools to work measurement, and we'll apply work measurement in our next class. How to calculate the just step 2 we have finished today. Determine the number of cycles to observe. We have finished step 2. Next day we will calculate the standard time and its application. and its application. This is all for today. Maybe you have got the summary of the
Sir,
lecture.
next class we have a mid, right? Second
Next
mid.
class, today's
Today is 25th.
so next class. No. We will take the test on Saturday, not
The
Saturday.
4 May. The date is given.
4 May. Next class, that
4th of
means
May.
coming Saturday. Coming Saturday is online. That's why we have changed our decision that we will take the test on 4th May. We have changed the date. And I have, notified you through Canvas. A notification in the Canvas is given. Haven't you got it? Have you got it, Mr. Galib?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
we have changed the date. Anything else? So if we sum up, number one,
No, sir.
job revision, job
Sir, মিডের কোশ্চেনের প্যাটার্নটা কি হবে?
pattern, easy question.
Sir, but 4 তারিখে আগে তো হচ্ছে না, right?
4 তারিখের আগে হচ্ছে না। 4 তারিখে আগে হচ্ছে না কারণ থার্সডেতে অনেক সময় আনসার্টেনিটি থাকে। এখানে স্যাটারডে সেট করলাম। সবসময় আনসার্টেনিটি থাকে। However, Saturday I prefer. If you do not have any other issues, do you have any?
No, sir.
So if you don't have any, then we are gonna end our today's lecture.
স্যার মিড 2 তে কি স্যার মিড 1 এর মধ্যে স্যার 4টা কোশ্চেন থেকে স্যার 3টা কোশ্চেন এরকম টাইপের থাকবে স্যার?
Yes. Mid, almost like mid one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining the class.